So they give us three reconstitutions, 40, 20, and 10 milligrams per milliliter respectively. Okay. The question is, for each of these three strengths, determine the required volume of the solution to be administered. Okay, so according to the order is 100 milligrams, so just do it 3 times. So we have 100 milligrams times the order, the strength. So this should be 2.5 milliliters. Okay. So now we do it 2 more times, once for here and once for there. So I'll just go ahead and want you guys quickly do that real quick. 3, 2, 1, pause. Okay, so if you do the same process, just checking it out. So for this one, hopefully you got 5 milliliters, and for this one, hopefully you got 10 milliliters respectively, right? So if you if this was your strength, you would give 2.5. If this was your strength, you would give 5. If this was your strength, you would give 10 milliliters respectively, right? Now the question is, which is the strongest form of this drug? Now I emphasized this in the last videos, right? I even underlined it, is the very important thing is the less the milliliters you would give, the stronger the medication. So since you're administering 2.5, which is the smallest you give, therefore this will be the strongest of the medications, or the strongest of the type of drug we have. So we can kind of rank which one's the strongest to weakest, right? So the more milliliters you give, the weaker it would actually be. So it's the strongest, moderate, and least strongest, right, when it comes to it. So you can have questions on homework or on exams based on that kind of stuff. Is given this as administration, which one's actually be the strongest, or you can rank 1, 2, or 3 based off that. Okay. Again, just by knowing the less milliliters you administer, the stronger the concentration of the drug. Okay. So key concept there. So remember, it's not this one's being the smallest, it's what you actually administer is the smallest itself. Okay. All right. So let's go to the next page and do some more examples. So this one goes to number 5 on here. So it says order pecylene potassium 220 units IM stat per 6 hours. Okay. Calculate how many milliliters of this antibiotic you would administer to the patient for each dilute. All right, let's look at number 5 here. Okay, so the question now says, determine how many milliliters you would administer for each dilute. Okay, so we have multiple dilutes we're probably going to look at. So let's see. So we have a total of 3 different dilutes. Let's see if I can focus. Yeah, 18.2, 8.2, and 3.2. Right, those are 3 dilutes. So that means we have 3 different answers. So here are the strengths for each one, for each dilute. So we have, again, 3 different answers using our portions, right? So corresponding here, using 2,400 units. And we're going to do this 3 times for each different dilute. So the first strength is going to be 250,000 units per milliliter. So if we do this, we cancel those out. We should get 0.96 milliliters. And now we do the same thing for the other one. So again, using the same concentration, so same order, but now our next strength is going to be, let's see if I can focus this and make it there. It's going to be 500. So now you do the same exact thing what we just did, but now this is going to be 500. And then one more time for the last one. Let's see if I can zoom, focus. There we go. The last one is going to be for the million. Okay. So go ahead and do that 2 more times. So once for the 500,000 and one for the million. And what is going to be a millimeters administered there? 3, 2, 1, pause. Okay. So hopefully you guys got it. So for the strength of the 500,000 milligrams per milliliters, you should get 0.48 milliliters you can administer. And for the million, you should get 0.24 milliliters. So hopefully you guys got those respectively. Okay. All right, and then the last kind of scenario here is number 6. example 8. So order is applicant 500 milligrams IM stat per 6 hours. Find the number. Actually, let's do this. Why don't we just cross this one out? I really don't like this question. Keep forgetting to get it out. Let's just do B instead. Yeah. Yeah, let's just cross this one out. So why don't you guys try this one out, and I'll put the label on here so you guys can see this is number 6 here. Okay. So order is 500 milligrams. The number of milliliters you would administer to the patient. Okay. So you're going to use the strength when diluted. So go ahead and try this one out. See if I can focus it so you guys can see it. Good old camera. Okay. So hopefully you guys tried it. So the number of milliliters you would administer. So we always start with given, right? So we're given 500 milligrams. Now, what is the strength of this drug? It says after you dilute. So if we read on here, it says usual dosage, right? Adults 250 to 500 milligrams, redirections. Now, proportions. So now, what do we want? Oh, here we go. For IM use. Oh, here we go, right? IM use. That's what we were looking for. Add 3.5 milliliters dilute, read accompanying insult. Resulting solution contains 250 milligrams per milliliter. So there you go. There's 250 milligrams per milliliter. That's after dilute, because that's what the question was asked, right? After we diluted the portion. That's what we're looking for. So we want actually not using this 1 gram. So that means here it's going to be 250 milligrams for every 1 milliliter. So that gives you 2 milliliters you would administer. So here's a question for you guys. Since it's IM, is this safe for an adult? Hopefully you say yes, right? Since it's IM, intramuscular, an adult is less than 3, so that's a yes. Right? Is this safe for a child? Yeah, you could probably say, right? It's less than 2, but it's exactly 2 should be good. And for an infant, you would say automatically no, right? Because it's less than 1. So that's kind of scenario you're going to be seeing when it comes to this type of chapter stuff. Okay. And the last thing we'll talk about is herbapine. So this is kind of a potent anticoagulant that inhibits clog formations and blood coagulations. Like insulin and other medications, herbapine is supplied in units. So we talked about this a little bit. Units is literally units. That's the actual unit portion, right? It is available in single dosage or multiple vials, and also accompanying prepared to IV solutions. IVs we'll actually talk about way back, I think chapter 11, almost the end of the semester. The strength of the drug ranges from 10 units per milliliter to 50,000 units per milliliter. This can also change according to the weight of the patient, okay, when it comes to it. Now, also again, on that same page, this is also going to be in there, okay, when it talks about according to pages and stuff like that. Okay, so just be worried about that kind of thing. So let's do the last example here based on this kind of stuff. And again, nothing really brand new. It's just, we're talking about different type of portion with units. Okay, so number 7. So example 7. So it's right here. So order is, there you go. Order is 130 units per kilogram subcut. So we now subcut this time per 12 hours for a patient that weighs 150 pounds. Determine how many milliliters of this herbapine would you administer. All right, so let me just put the label here. Now, according to our portion, our strength is right smack in the middle. 7,500 units per 0.3 milliliters. So there we go. But we have a problem. We're told the order is in units per kilogram, and the weight is also not in kilograms, it's in pounds. So that means we have to do one quick thing. We have to convert all that fun stuff first. So first off, we have to do, where is it? 150 pounds. So this should be about 68.18 kilograms. All right, so now 68.18 kilograms. So how do we get rid of kilograms? Times it by the order. So we know there's 130 units for every kilogram. And then finally multiply by the strength of the drug. So in the case of the strength of the drug, it was 7,500 units for every 0.3 milliliters. So everything cancels except milliliters. And I believe after this multiplication and division, you should get 0.35 milliliters. Okay. And there we go. So it's nothing really too much. It's just a different way of explanation. The most important about this entire chapter is, the actual dosage of it. So, if it's subcut, intra versus cup, and also the reconstitution, being able to label when it comes to it. Because everything else is pretty straightforward. There's one little concept, right, when it comes to this, which one's more, which is less. But most of it is pretty much the same. Okay, and that's it for this chapter.